EDC, or everyday carry. It's the items that we carry with us on an everyday basis. Our wallet, our phone, keys. For me, I upgrade with a flashlight, a knife, maybe a multi-tool, my concealed carry. So those items are on me regardless. But there are times where I need other things that I find that I use on a regular basis, but I just don't want to carry them on my person. So today we're going to take a look at an EDC kit. And this is kind of an auxiliary to your EDC. These are additions. I'm not necessarily going to carry this, but I have it close at hand. Whether it's in my vehicle, whether it's where I'm working, in my pack, or whether I just slip it in a cargo pocket every once in a while. So we're going to go through some different kit setups, but it can be a very small kit. It can be a little bit larger. It's according to what you do. And EDC is a very personal choice. Not only in the different items you use, but the quality, how much they cost. There's a lot of different factors. And so maybe this will give you some ideas about what you carry. Down in the comments, leave what you carry on a regular basis and maybe what you'd carry in a small little EDC backup kit. Well guys, EDC, we carry our phones everywhere. Wallets, we have our keys. A lot of people carry knives, flashlights, and then of course concealed carry. Some people carry multi-tools. There may be something that goes along with your work that you carry every day just in your pocket. But today we're going to take a look at just an extra bonus. Now this is a small one. We're going to show some different setups, but this is just something that is supplemental. It's just extra items that you don't want to have on your person, in your pocket, getting in the way. But yet you find that you need them on a fairly regular basis. Not necessarily every day, but it's just those items that you're just glad you have them when you keep them together. And I've got a couple of setups just because I've been doing that. But you can use whatever pouch you want to use and however you want to set it up. But this just gives us something to be able to put those items in one place. Now first I want to talk a little bit about the pouch itself. This is the Pico Fire Pro from Roaring Fire Gear. It's very small but yet very capable. Ballistic nylon, hook and loop filled. We have pockets here on the front with little pulls. I like these pulls. It has a keeper here to actually lock this pull in, and we have a little zipper compartment at the back and a little hook that you can just hook this on to anything. Just a nice sturdy little pouch, a lot of quality. And it just is such the right size. It'll fit about anywhere. This will fit in a cargo pocket. It'll fit in your back pocket pretty much if you have larger pockets. But we're going to start out, and these are just some items that I tend to use, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each one, but we have 4 different setups that we're going to look at. Now, one of the biggest right up front is a pen. Now, I keep pens in my pocket, but sometimes I need something to write on, so I like the little Write in the Rain pads. I like to have a pen, and if I need to write something down, I don't know if you've been like in your car and you're looking through the glove box and you find a napkin and you're trying to search for something if you need to write it down. This just keeps it right there together. Secondly, I really like a multi-tool. Now, I don't carry a multi-tool on me. A lot of people do. This is just my deal. And I like a small multi-tool, and this is the Leatherman Juice S2. Have a pair of pliers, which is great. And then we have some internal tools as well. You know, your standard Phillips head. Here on the other side, we have flathead screwdrivers. And then on the inside, and honestly, this is probably what I like the most, is we have a bottle opener, but also we have a pair of scissors. Scissors are something that I typically will use, and you pop them out, that's spring loaded. And so I like a pair of scissors, and bottle opener definitely, and there's a little small file in here, and on the other side there is a knife. But this kind of covers a lot of bases, but it's not a large pair of pliers, but it definitely will get you by for smaller tasks. Next, I like to having a razor, and I've really started carrying razors around, and this one is just a really trim, almost a knife razor, but it's so small and it just fits very easily in here. Again, these are items that I don't want to be too heavy. Now for light, you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So I like to have a light. I have one in my pocket, but I find that something like this little O-clip is versatile. So it just clips on and you can use it for different ways, and it has red light, it has strobe and all those kind of things. It is magnetic, so it'll stick to surfaces. This is great for working environments or something where you want to get a light in a certain place, and so I'm a big fan, and it doubles as my regular light, my EDC light, but it gives me even more capability. And then this is one that I just love because, you know, you don't use fingernail clippers that often or toenail clippers, but when you need them, it seems like they get gone. And so this is just a really nice pair of toenail clippers or fingernail clippers. And so I like to keep these, that way I know where it is. So it's not as much, you know, where I'm using it on a regular basis, but I do keep it in one location. I just have a thumb drive, and this is just for things that I do. But when it comes to something that creates fire, which is something I don't do every day, obviously, but it is such a vital part of survival, and it just really takes up little room. And this is the ExoTac. It's the Nano Striker. We have a ferro rod that's covered, and then we have a striker that's attached. I really like this. They have the XL, which is a bigger one, but this is just one of those items that I just really like, and I love ExoTac. And ExoTac does sponsor the channel, but I've been carrying ExoTac for a long time. They're made down in Winder, Georgia, and I will have a link down below. You can get 20% off. Also, I'm a big fan of the Griffin tool, and the reason I like to have some kind of pry bar, and I want something small because this is a small pack, and it also has drivers here, and of course we have a bottle opener and Phillips head. I mean, this is really a multi-tool, and it's almost a carabiner. I just love it. And the guys over at Griffin Tool, Casey's just a great guy, and he makes some really high quality products. But the real thing about this is I like to have some sort of pry bar, and so I keep these in a lot of my packs. Also, I have a lighter. Now that goes with this, and the reason why I have a lighter is because Bic lighters are the most convenient way to start a fire, by hands down, but it is the most vulnerable. This can go out, the fuel can leak out, the striker can get jammed up, and it can corrode and just go shut. So I like my Bic. I want to pull out and start a fire really fast. I can do it, but if I need long term or if this goes out, I do have the Nano Striker. And then here in the zippered compartment, I just have some tinder tabs. If you're going to have fire starting, you really need a tinder. And tinder tabs used by the U.S. military, they're very easy to use. They light really quickly, even with a ferrocerium rod. So I love this, and it just goes back here. One thing I do want to mention is you don't have to pack it out to the full extent. I mean, that's all that's in this little zippered compartment. It would fit more, but I just like it back there. And then here on the front, I have Band-Aids, I have alcohol wipe, prep pads, and I have some pain reliever. I think it's actually Tylenol. Keep that in the front. Now on the back here, it does have a little place, and I could throw something in there, but again, you don't have to fill up every spot. And it is a small pack, and you can do it, but why do it? But this is really one of my primary EDC Plus kits. Now we're going to go to number 2, and this is just a little different. There's some different thoughts in here, and the big thing about this video is to get you to think. What is it that you carry? What is it that you tend to need on a regular basis? And so here we have just a number of different items, which we do have a larger multi-tool, and this is a SOG or SOG, and so we can open this up. We've got a more able pair of pliers, and of course you have all the tools that go into a multi-tool. But overall, this is just a nice little solid multi-tool, and it just closes up. And it's not one of the heaviest ones, but it's about a mid-size. We have a Fisher Space Pen to go with my Right in the Rain pad, and this one has a little more, and it is spiral. I do keep a very small little flashlight. It's an Olight, and I can just pull this out, and works really well. And it just attaches to the small lanyard. Then we have a Victorinox, and we just have one of the Swiss Army knives. And this is just one of those knives. I'm a big fan of Swiss Army knives, and this just gives me a ton of tools, especially if I need to open up a wine bottle. And guys, honestly, I've been at that place where I needed to have the corkscrew, and we didn't have one. So I had it with me. And then we have another ferrocerium rod with a striker, and this is just a large one. And I just want to show something a little different. But again, I love to have that fire starting capability. Now we have our razor right here, and again, I just like the razor, and this is a different one. This uses your standard razors that you get for the hardware store, and it just is a really capable little tool. And then I just have a pair of scissors because I like to have scissors. Now again, we can go with the multi-tool with scissors, or we can have something like this that gives you a little more capability, and it's a little more standoff. These have been around for a long time. And then again, the Griffin Griffin tool, self-explanatory. I love the little pry bar area. And I have a whistle with a compass. And that's in case for some reason I need to signal somebody, I need to get the attention, and so I have the whistle. Then I have a mirror. Now this is a little different, but this can be used for a number of things. One is for signaling and it's dirty, and then I can look if I want to make sure that, you know, I don't have something hanging out of the side of my mouth, so I can use that. And then I have a compass. And this is just one of those things, me being a prepper and wanting to have a few items extra. But again, there are so many different things that you can use in this kind of setup. As far as in the different pouches, again, we're going to have medical, and then back here we're going to have some fire tender, and then if we want to have some papers or something, or receipts we want to put in here. These are great little size pouches. Now, this one's a little different with the medical little patch. I like to put those on some of my EDC backpacks or different packs because it kind of disarms people a little bit in case there's a firearm in there. And here, this is a little more of a workman tool set. We have a pair of Nipix pliers, little channel lock pliers. We have one of the multitaskers, which has a ton of different features on here. But one of the reasons why I really like this is because I have a driver set that goes right with it. And man, this will take care of a lot of things, even Torx, Phillips head, we have flat, and then we have standard Allen wrench. And it'll fit inside this, and then we can use it. And then it has a number of gun cleaning tools in here as well. So I really like that capability, and driver sets have become very popular. I like to have a scribe, and this is just a carbide tip, and I can do things with it. I can use it as a pointer. I can do a lot of different things, and I find that I need a scribe for what I typically do. And then we have another one of the Exotac strikers, and this one just has the striker in the handle, and then of course we can use it. And this is I believe this is the poly striker because it's less expensive and it's polymer here, and really you should have a lanyard through here to keep the striker. But again, fire starting. And then we have, of course, our ever-present pen with field notes, which are similar to Right in the Rain. Fingernail clippers, we have another whistle, and I have a small flashlight, and this is the Olight S1 baton. We've had this one, or I've had it for years, and I like the size of this to go in these small packs. And then we have a small knife, and this is more of a razor. It has the sheep's foot. It also, on the other side, has a seatbelt cutter, bottle opener, you know, just multiple things, and I like the size of this knife and the style. But again, when it comes to things, it's 2 is 1, 1 is none. And then we have the Gerber, and this is actually really a pretty decent little tool. Now you have a really nice knife on here. For a multi-tool, it comes out very well. But then we have other items like a driver, and we could actually use these bits in here. And then, of course, we have a pair of scissors, and that's one of the things that I really like to have. Now, it's not as important when it comes to being like outside in the wilderness or whatever, if we're going hiking or camping, but yet you can cut strings with it. But for regular EDC, I find that a good pair of scissors is invaluable or just very convenient. And again, it has other tools to it, but I like something small, and this just happens to fit exactly where I want it. Again, we're going to have fire tender back here, and we're going to have medical and a boo-boo kit pretty much here, and then maybe some different receipts or things that I need to tuck away. I can put them in here instead of my billfold. Then we're going to go a little bit larger. This is the Smolder by Roaring Fire Gear. Great little EDC pouch. I used to do a lot of pouches in this size, but I've kind of gone to the smaller size. But if I'm doing something, or I'm going out of town, or I want something a little more capable, this is great. So here I have my driver set, and this is actually a pretty cool tool. And so I can use this to be able to do anything that needs to tighten up screws. And again, it has a big set of different type. Of course, the driver's here also in the back. And this is called the Minich. So I've had this for a while. I'm not even sure where I got it, but I really like it. And then I have one of the larger Griffin tools. This will give you a little bit more capability. You have a little bit more of a wedge. You even have a nail puller, and you have measuring here, bottle opener, and a driver, and you actually have a small screwdriver. So multi-tool purpose, and it just works really well. And then I have a razor, and this is again one of those razors that you can refill without too much trouble at local hardware stores or wherever you are. Then I have a little more capable multi-tool. Now this is the SOG Power Lock pliers, and this thing is a beast, and it's really exceptional. You even have wire cutting, and then all the tools are tucked away, but you know how it is with multi-tools. There's a lot of different options, and so you can use these if you need them. You have them tucked away. It's just not something I use on an everyday basis. So I like to have it because if I need it, I really need it. Now here we have the Fisher Space Pen, and again, we have our Write in the Rain pad. You know, it's really crazy how you need to write something down, or you don't want to forget something, and you don't have a pen and paper. Now, I'm going to start here next. This is a flashlight, and of course, a light is very important. It's your #1 security tool, and this is the Warrior Mini 3. It's just a beautiful light, and very capable. And you can actually use this as an impact weapon if you need something for self-defense. We also have another one of the Nano Strikers in here, and same thing. Just a great little tool to have. I like to have fire starting capability. And then I have the Rip Spool. This is also from Exotac, and this has duct tape or Gorilla Tape. It has Kevlar thread, and the Kevlar thread actually goes into the needle, and this is a sail needle. So I can take this and I can use this. It just makes it a great option, and you can see how much duct tape or Gorilla Tape's on here. Again, just gives you a lot of capability to be able to repair things if you need to, and the Rip Spool is one of those great ideas, and it's just very compact. Then I have some tripwire. This is U.S. military tripwire. I get this a lot of times at surplus places or gun shows, and so I have quite a bit of cordage in here if I need to repair something, and I just like them. So I have them in a number of different packs. And then here at the back, I have a sharpener. And this is one of the Gerber sharpeners, and so it just gives me some capability to keep my tools sharp, which I like to do. We could put more stuff in the back here. We could put more stuff on the front, but we're just, you know, that's up to you, and there's no reason to put too much. Then here I have a compass. I have a survival mirror. I have a fishing kit. I have something to charge my flashlight. And I have a survival whistle. So there are some survival items in here, and again, if we're going to be out and about and I have a small kit, this just gives me some extra survival type situation to where I can survive. So larger kit, a little more in depth, and again, this is the Roaring Fire Smolder, and I really like the 3 sections, and I love the wax canvas. But also right here on the front is a hook and loop field, and we have one of the brand new Such patches which we've just gotten in. So these are going to be available over at suchgear.com, and a little bit larger than our originals, but great little pack. So guys, while you have your standard EDC, this is definitely outside the box. It is EDC Plus, and it just gives you more capability. Can you get by without it? Sure, most of the times you can, but this just gives you more convenience in your life to get to better things. Or, as we've shown in some of the packs, there are some survival items in there, and fire starting is just one that I always have. Guys, when it comes to fire, it is essential to survival, and having a good fire kit and knowing how to use it is vital for survival situations. And Exotac makes the best fire starters on the market. Made in the USA, down in Winder, Georgia, using really high-grade aluminum. They machine some really beautiful handles, a lot of different features, replaceable ferro rods, and a number of other different fire starting tools. You get 20% off using Such20 with a link down below in the description. And a big thank you to Exotac for sponsoring today's video. So guys, EDC is what we carry. It's a very personal choice, and again, sometimes there are those items that we find that we need on occasion and we just don't have them handy. And so having a small little EDC kit can take care of those little things that just happen when life throws something at you and you're ready to go. And again, down in the comments, let us know what you think. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. And this will take care of that when you put these items in a pot. I think it's the Nano Striker. Okay, let me see what this is first. Or flashlight, and not or. Every year I